Let's talk about the future of the WNBA, and more specifically, whether Commissioner Cathy Engelbert even has one. Because after what went down this week, yeah, it's not looking good. When Napheesa Collier basically called the league's leadership the worst in the world, it was like she pressed the self-destruct button.
We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world.
And everyone, from players to owners to Adam freaking Silver, felt the blast. But here's where it gets crazy. When people start looking at Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, and saying, hey, this might be on you too, somebody's about to lose their job. The Athletic, yeah, that Athletic, the one owned by the New York Times, just dropped a headline that might as well have been a tombstone. It said, soon the commissioner may not even be the present. Translation? Cathy Engelbert's WNBA career just hit the end credits. Now, on paper, she looks like she's been stacking wins. Under her watch, the league did pull in some big-time numbers. $75 million in its first-ever capital raise back in 2022, franchise buy-ins skyrocketed to $250 million, and in 2024, the WNBA pulled in a record-breaking $76 million in sponsorship revenue. That's all nice, but let's stop pretending the spreadsheet tells the truth, because the league is still not turning a profit. 30 years in, and even with the biggest star women's basketball has ever seen, they're still in the red. Let me be real. If you can't turn a profit with Caitlin Clark, you've got to be some kind of special. That's like having a golden goose and somehow managing to turn it into chicken nuggets. This woman's jersey sales are breaking records, her games are selling out arenas, and the TV ratings are through the roof, yet somehow the league's books still look like a college kid's bank account at the end of the semester. And look, I'm not saying you need an MBA to figure this out. Hell, you don't even need a college degree to turn a profit with Caitlin Clark. All you need is common sense and the ability to not fumble a generational superstar. But under Engelbert's leadership, that's exactly what's happening.
I have great respect for Fee, and I think she made a lot of very valid points. And, I think what people need to understand, we need great leadership in this time across all levels.
And now, her allies are disappearing faster than salads at a barbecue. She's standing alone, and everyone, players, owners, and even some fans, are ready to move on. But here's where things go from bad to dangerous. Because when the players revolt and the owners stop returning your calls, the next thing that happens is the NBA starts sniffing around. And that's when the real power moves start happening. Napheesa Collier didn't just make a statement. She dropped a pipe bomb. She basically walked to the center of the WNBA stage, grabbed the mic, and said, our leadership is the worst in the world. Let that sink in for a second. That's not frustration, that's execution. She didn't just criticize Cathy Engelbert, she buried her. And you've got to ask yourself, how big of a you-know-what did it take for Collier to step up and say that out loud? Because that wasn't some rookie looking for attention. That was one of the faces of the league saying what everybody else's group chat has been saying for months.
The chorus of voices of current stars in the WNBA, which echo Collier's sentiment, didn't have a single opposing voice.
That took guts because every player knows once you call out the commissioner, the league either fixes the problem or you become the problem. But let's be honest, Engelbert has lost control of the room. She doesn't have control of the league, she doesn't have control of her players. Hell, at this point, she doesn't seem to have control of anything. You look at her public appearances, her press conferences, she looks like someone who's just trying to keep her job long enough to make it to next week's meeting. Like, what does she actually have control of right now? Because it sure ain't the narrative, it ain't the locker rooms, and it's definitely not the fan base. I'm starting to think even her dog probably walks out the door when she tells it to sit. That's how little respect she's got left. And you can feel it. The owners aren't riding with her, the players are turning on her, and even the media is starting to circle like vultures. That Athletic article wasn't a rumor. That was the obituary. Now, here's where the whole thing stops being a WNBA drama and starts turning into a power play straight out of the NBA. Because Cathy Engelbert doesn't answer to the players. She doesn't even answer to the WNBA owners. She reports directly to one man, Adam Silver. And when that man starts having a problem with you, it's like the Grim Reaper just rang your doorbell. Adam Silver is the silent assassin of the sports world. Smooth, calm, calculated. He doesn't yell, he doesn't panic. He just waits for the right moment, and with one swift blow, you're dust. Career gone, replaced before your chair's even cold. Once Silver starts taking heat, it's over. He's not going to let anyone, especially not little Engelbert, threaten what the NBA has built or derail the master plan they've set in motion for global expansion and brand control. This man runs a billion-dollar empire that's been firing on all cylinders, and he's not about to let someone who can't even control a press conference muck up something that should be so easy to run. The WNBA has Caitlin Clark, A'ja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Paige Buchers, literal superstars, household names who finally give the league some mainstream buzz. And yet, somehow, the league feels more chaotic than ever. You know what? Engelbert actually got one thing half right. She said players should be down there kissing the league's feet for the platform it's provided. Oh no, Kathy, you've got it backwards. You should be the one down there kissing Caitlin Clark's feet for single-handedly dragging your ratings, attendance, and revenue out of the basement. You should be thanking her every time she breathes, because she's the reason sponsors even return your calls. Adam Silver's probably watching all this unfold from his office like, alright, I gave her a chance, now it's time to clean house. But if there's one thing he's not going to do, it's let the WNBA's leadership circus start spilling over and staining the NBA's brand. He's not taking that hit. Not for her, not for anyone. So where does this leave the league? If Engelbert's out, and let's be real, that's about as certain as a Caitlin Clark triple-double, the WNBA is about to hit a crossroads. We're not just talking about a new commissioner. We're talking about the possibility of a new era, or maybe even a new league entirely. Because let's be honest, the question isn't just who's going to lead the WNBA anymore, it's will there even be a WNBA as we know it? Because have you seen what's going on over at Unrivaled? The Unrivaled League might be small now, but man, you look at the players that are quietly signing up, and I'll tell you what, I'm in. I'm watching. They're setting themselves up like a hungry wolf outside the door, waiting for the WNBA to slip just one more time, and when it does, boom, Unrivaled pounces. And you know what? It kind of makes sense.
A new hoops league, that is. Tonight, the new 3-on-3 women's basketball league, Unrivaled.
Unrivaled feels like it's being built for the players, by the players. You don't have the rough muggins, the cheap shots, the nonstop chaos, or the political theater. You've got athletes actually focusing on basketball. Imagine that. The games are cleaner, the vibe is lighter, and the players seem like they actually enjoy being there. They're not walking on eggshells, they're running the show. And let's face it, that's how a modern league should feel. The WNBA, on the other hand, it's starting to feel like the place you go to argue about basketball instead of actually playing it. And while Engelbert's over here fighting for her job, Rivals quietly putting together a roster that could make serious noise in the next couple of years. Think about it. If Unrivaled gets a few more recognizable stars, a solid TV deal, and keeps the spotlight off drama and on the game, this could get ugly real fast. We could be looking at a changing of the guard, not just a commissioner swap. So yeah, while Kathy's over here trying to hold the steering wheel on a bus that's already off the cliff, Unrivaled might just be the one driving up from below, waving with a smile. The question is, will the WNBA wake up before it's too late, or will Unrivaled be the one that finally gives the players what they've been begging for? Control, respect, and peace to just play ball. So that's where we're at. A commissioner on life support, an NBA boss ready to swing the axe, and a rival league standing outside the door, smiling like it already knows how this story ends. The WNBA is supposed to be thriving right now. It's got Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, A'ja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, superstars that any league on earth would kill to have. And yet somehow, the person steering the ship managed to hit an iceberg made of bad leadership and player revolt. So, here's the next million-dollar question. What happens next? Does the WNBA finally get it right and clean house? Or do we watch a new league, Unrivaled, rise up and take the ball for good? Because if I'm being honest, after seeing how that league's being run, I'm starting to think the word rival might not mean competition. It might mean replacement. But hey, that's just me. What do you think? Would you watch Unrivaled over the WNBA if it meant better basketball, fewer politics, and real leadership? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't hold back, because neither are we. This is Full Court WNBA, where we call it like we see it every single time. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because this conversation is just getting started. See you next time.